Hey guys, what's up? This is Jesus Conde, and today we're going to be doing some 3D modeling and some line art of this character in the woods. So before starting this episode, I wanted to talk to you about these artists that are helping me a lot. Their links are in the description, and their names are Carem Orta, Gustavo Dorian Marko, Ana Maria Ilinca y Daniel Ilinca. You can see all the things that they are actually doing on this project, and please check their pages, check them out, look what they do, and give them your support, give them some likes so I can help them too. Okay guys, so for the Albdur project there are these characters. They are trees, so basically the woods are alive, pretty much like an ant in the Lord of the Rings, but these ones don't walk or anything. We'll get to the story of them at some point, but I don't want to bore you. So I got these sketches and I need to start making the art for the chapter, and I know I'm going to need a lot of different point of views of the same character, so making a basic 3D mesh was a logical choice for me. I needed to look accurate for any angle, so I can change the camera and test different point of views before doing the actual drawing, which saves some time. So today we're going to talk a tiny bit about 3D Max and Mudbox. So Mudbox is a 3D modeling program based in a sculpting technique. This is not a modeling tutorial, it's just about creating a base for your drawing, so I will just explain the tools used in these chapters, alright? Okay, so before working with Mudbox, you need a basic mesh of the model that you want to put some detail on, and I started doing this basic mesh with 3D Max. So here I am doing the basic modeling for the tree. I will explain some of the things that I did to make this result. And it looks like really difficult, but it actually is not. You just have to be really patient and you have to watch what you're doing. Be careful with what you're doing, saving different versions of it. So it's actually really easy. At the end, I just, for the top part of the tree, I just use some spheres and deform them to be a little bit more like an oval shape. And let's talk a bit about 3D Max and what we can do with it. Okay guys, so really basic stuff of 3D Max just to start. We have what is called the viewports, which are these little windows here, and let me put some models here so you can see what it means. And you have the perspective view, which is this one right here. You have the front view, the top view, and the left view, and you can see all this these are the point of views that you're going to use the most. The perspective one just means that you can see, it's just that you can see the thing on perspective. To move around, most of the stuff is made with the middle button of the mouse, which is the scroll button in some mouse. You can just press it and you can move around, which is the little hand. If you press the same button with the Alt, you can rotate the camera like this. And if you push the same button with the Control and Alt at the same time, you can zoom in and zoom out. Actually, it's not zooming, it's just like moving the camera near and far away from the scene. So if you select the objects, you get this gizmo, which what it really do is that it tells you which transformation are you using at the moment, which action are you doing at the moment. In this case is just to move the things around. You can move the things with the W on the keyboard. If you press E, you can rotate. If you press R, you can scale things. And if you press W again, you can move the things around. So this is like very simple explanation. If you press Alt W, you go to a full view of each of the windows that you're using. Or you can do it with this little button right here, maximize viewport You also have all the same things that I just said here in the options, in the icons. So, but I will recommend you to learn the key shortcuts. So let's continue. Okay, so I'm going to explain you just what you need to do something like what I just did on this tutorial. First, we're going to explain you how to make the branches. For that, I use a cylinder. If you see this side of the screen, you have this bar that is called Create. And in the first icon of the bar, you got the geometry options. And so if you click on cylinder, you get this shape. And here you got all the parameters of the cylinder: the radius, the height, the segments vertically. You can see if I put 4 here, you can see more edges. The edges on the top, the polygons on the top. And yeah, I know it's a very basic explanation of all this, but just to get you started on this. So I press E to rotate the thing, and to start the transformations, because what I got right now is just the geometry, the basic geometry that it comes with 3D Max. I cannot modify this. If I click on modify here, I just got the same parameters that I got when I created it. To make it that if you want to edit this geometry, you have to convert it to editable poly object. So now the options have changed. You can see that you can select by vertex, you can select by edges, which are the lines, you can select by the faces, and if you click on this one is all the element, which right now is not like really useful, but when you use more the program a little bit more, you know what it is for. You can access all these tools again with the numbers. If you press 1, you use vertex, 2 the edges, 3 well, this one is like the borders, but it doesn't work too much in this kind of geometry. But the ones you're going to use more are the polygons and vertex and the edges. So what I want to do now is to extrude this shape, and you can find that option here, extrude. What this will make is that any face that you click on and you extrude is going to pop out another shape from that one, but is a stick to it. So what I want is to create the branch, and I'm going to be rotating everything that I do. If you click on this little square, you get this little panel here, and you can get everything with numbers, and it's a little bit more accurate, but it's just a matter of personal choice. If I use the other one, this one, bevel, I get the same thing on the extrude, but at the end, if I click again, I got this option that it gets bigger or smaller. So this is basically what I did to create the branches, and I hope this helps you understand a little bit more about how to use 3D Max. Then when you got your 3D model, what you do is to get it to Moodbox, and for that you're going to go to this icon here and export selected. So you're going to use a type of file that is called OBJ. Let's put tutorial test. Let's call it 2 because I did one already. Export, done. So then you go to Moodbox and import. You call the file, and here it is. Now I'm going to explain you a little bit of the basic kind of tools that you have in Moodbox. Okay, so right here what I'm doing is just sculpting the mesh that I bring from 3D Max and putting some detail on. And I'm going to give you some tips of how can you get started with Moodbox if you have never used it. But it's things that it only takes time to learn. It's not like really complex at all. At least for the purpose that I'm going to use it, you can use it too. Okay, so really basic stuff in Modbox. This is the perspective view, and you can use Alt and left click to rotate the camera. To move, Alt and center click, and to zoom in and zoom out, Alt and right click of the mouse. So it's better if you use a tablet, but you can use a mouse if you want. So this is the mesh with the polygons that comes with the basic 3D mesh that you did already. And what's going to happen is that if you do a sculpt with this kind of mesh, it's going to look really bad because you don't have mesh enough to put more detail on. So that's why Moodbox has something called you can put more resolution on the mesh. So if you push Shift and D, you can create a new level of detail on the model, and you get more polygons. You can see the polygons if you press W. You can see the wireframe, and you can see how many polygons you have in that section in this model. And if you keep adding more and more levels of subdivisions, like level 3 for example, you get more polygons. You can see the quantity of polygons in there. So this way the sculpting looks more smooth, and what you want to do is to work it on a really basic level and then later add more detail, because the more detail that you put on is going to be really heavy for your computer depending on what machine you have. So right now I'm using the sculpt tool, but you have a lot of different tools here. You can use the smooth, or you can just press shift and it will use the same thing. It will just activate the smooth tool at the same time. Right there, if you press shift, you will use a smooth tool. If you quit using the shift button, then what's going to do is going to return to the tool that you have selected here. So for example, the grab tool, I really like it because you just grab things and move it around like this. If you press B with the keyboard, you make it bigger or smaller. If you press M, you put more force on it, like the opacity of the reaction is even more. So B for the size, you can see the options right here, size and strength. Exactly. M is for strength. Sorry that I don't know the words. So this is like really basic explanation, but I hope this helps you understand how to use Moodbox really quick and get you started with it. So basically later, when you have more and more subdivisions, that is with Shift D, I just add another level 4. You can see that is getting more heavy and have a lot more of detail on the mesh. You can start putting a lot of more detail, and I invite you to play around with the program. Also, if you push Control, you get the opposite effect. It goes inwards. I'm using the same tool. Let's use another one. Let's use knife. This is a cool tool. It cuts it just cuts the mesh. You can see how you can make like kind of lines here. And if you press Control, it does the opposite thing. That's the best example I can give you. And well, if you keep adding more and more levels, you can get more into detail with the model, but that's another thing. That's when you going to do a lot of complex stuff, and this is just basic explanation, so let's just leave it here and continue with the tutorial. Alright, So then what I do is just go to 3D Max again, but before doing that I need a lower version of this mesh. So with the keys on the keyboard, page up and page down, you can select the level of detail that you want on the model. So I'm going to use level 4 because it keeps some of the detail and the mesh doesn't lose too much of the details. So I'm going to just go to select and move tools here, objects, and I select this object. Then I go to export selection and I'm going to do it an FBX or OBJ kind of file can work too. Let's call it final tutorial. And then on 3D Max, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to import that model. So I'm going to click import here and I'm going to look for that model. Import, here it is. And what I can do here is, let me erase the other one, is just select the angle that I want to draw that one, or you can use even, you can see stuff like the lighting. Let's create a plane here. And I can create a light, a standard light. And you can see some lighting in real time. And this is really helpful. I mean, when you are working and you need some really fast results, this can help you out to understand the lighting. So there we go. We can make a small render and we can draw things out. Let me activate the shadows in here. There we go. So this is it. I really hope you like this little 3D Max intro. Now let's make the little line art really quick. Okay, so now that I got the screenshots, I'm just going to paint on top of that. This brush, there's a tutorial about creating this brush in the last episodes. Looks a lot like a pencil, gives that really cool kind of result, like if it was a pencil. So I'm going to do this really quick because I don't want to bore you with this process, but you can see how this helps. I mean, depending on what you're going to do, this could be really helpful or not. If you want to do something that is really accurate in terms of shape, because you need it to, this really helps. I use it at work when I have to design something and I need to, for the modelers to create something really accurate from the top view, side view and everything. You can do this kind of thing. If you're just going to do something in perspective, you could see, I could see they will be more like wasting your time if you use this technique. But this way helps you get the perspective view accurate, and if you got any other view to draw, you just have to make a small render and you will have your reference right away. And even if it's not for that, you can use it for the lighting information. You know where the shadows are going to be exactly placed, and well, that could be really helpful in some cases depending on what you're working on at the moment. How I said, I'm doing this really quick, so I'm going to show you how the actual line art of the tree looks, so you can see kind of what it got from doing this kind of technique. But it's basically this same technique that I'm using in this example. So for the line art of the actual tree that I did, after I had the model, I just put some lights on and it gave me all the information that I needed. I also used it kind of like a grid texture on it, and that helped me understand the shapes a lot more, and it really makes it easy. I'm going to use the same technique to do some of the environments, mostly because I want it to be really accurate when I change the camera on the scenes. I want it to feel like it's really there, even that it's a drawing. And maybe why not doing some dynamic changes on the cameras, like a traveling or maybe some kind of rotation, and it will look accurate in perspective and everything. I don't have to worry about anything at all because it's going to be perfect. So I really hope you like this tutorial, and please follow my Facebook page to be in touch and to be aware of the live streams. I'm doing live streams every Wednesday in Spanish and English. So let me know with a message if you want to participate or something. If you like this tutorial, send me tweets. I sometimes read the Twitter in the live stream live, and I really hope you can make it to the live stream. It's every Wednesday, kind of like at 9 p.m. in Madrid. So you will have to check on some page about time zones, so to see what time is in your country. It's 9 p.m. of Madrid, Spain. That's the 21 hour of the day. So thank you very much. See you in Wednesday on the live stream.